Okay, so I just thought I'd record this because I'll probably trash all of these and I might want to come back to it. We have an art walk coming up and we wanted to put a booth out where to attract some kids, you know, to get them to do some art project that didn't take long, and you know, and then that way they felt they could participate in the event of the day as well. And yeah, and we're going to do proceeds to a charitable organization as well. So I'm trying to come up with some ideas. I was going to use my paints, and we were going to do these painted mandalas, and I was going to make some kerchiefs, you know, that sort of thing. And I thought, well, you know, I've got boxes of this satin material, which my sweetheart had picked up at a garage sale, I think a year ago or so. And I just kind of looking at it, I'm probably not going to use it for anything, because if I do anything for clothing or whatever, I use natural. But this would be a great idea, the satin, to use for the kerchiefs. But so I come up with an idea, because I've done the Sharpie and alcohol thing, you know, small projects with kids on t-shirts and stuff, and I thought, gee, I wonder how that would translate onto little kerchiefs if they did them like a mandala. I really want to do this mandala because it's quick and the kids can, you know, really do something that's special to them. They can make special patterns and designs that make them feel good, and that's pretty much what mandalas are for anyway. You know, that universal circle of life and harmony and everything like that. So so I thought I'd experiment and maybe get some feedback. Or even just try to decide, but you know what, after all of this I'm still undecided. But here's the satin, and I used some of my art markers because I didn't have that many Sharpies here. I just had a red, a black, a green, and a blue. So to add some extra color, I used some of my more expensive art markers, but I figured, hey, they're permanent, so they should probably work, right? I don't know what makes the Sharpie more special than other art markers. You know, maybe it's whatever it is that they use. I don't know. So anyway, as you can see here, some of it bled nicely. So what you do is you make your marks with your Sharpie, and then you take an eyedropper or a spray bottle that's full of isopropyl alcohol, you know, rubbing alcohol, the stuff you get down at the drugstore. And what it does is it creates this bleeding effect, and it blends all the markers together, and then it becomes permanent. It's really kind of cool. So this was done with a combination of the Sharpie. You can see the red didn't bleed too badly or too well. I kind of like the idea of leaving a little bit of the original marks, and then, you know, see this kind of watercolory effect. I like the way this one turned out, but this was just a series of dots, right, on this one here. As you can see, the red doesn't bleed out that much. So maybe it was just that particular Sharpie I had. I've had them for a while. I don't know if maybe they were just starting to dry. I have no idea. But the blue just bleeds beautifully. And so I just did a bunch of art, you know, mark making on some fabrics just to try and get an idea on how well that'll translate, you know, once you put the alcohol on it. And, you know, try to find something that's pleasing to the eye, and, you know, for the kids, right, that they could be happy with what they're doing. So this is the satin material. There's 3 different tries I did on that. This here is a linen. I have some linen here, but yeah, I'm not keen on using good linen for kids, but you know what, it's, you know, it is what it is. I have the material here. So this this was a little bit tougher, and I think because it was a heavier fabric, this is a fairly weighty linen, so I don't think it was very successful. There was some bleed out, but it was sort of a bit faded. Now they probably look brighter on, it looks a little bit brighter on my screen. This is canvas, and I was actually really pleased with how this little guy turned out. Very much like a lot of the ones you see on YouTube elsewhere. As you can see, the red still, it doesn't bleed out that much. The blue and the black bleed beautifully. And you know what's really cool is the black sort of has this purplish tinge to it, so you can tell it's a red base. This is the one I just did here with, which is more intricate, because I'm hoping that the kids will be a little bit more detailed in, you know, rather than just do some simple. But yeah, you know, whatever, it's going to be theirs. So I wanted to see how that would go if I used, you know, a heavy detail with lots of color, you know, like coloring it in. And honestly, it just looks like smeared to me. It's just like somebody smeared it and it wasn't supposed to be. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm so undecided. But what I did like is this is a t-shirt material. This is a jersey material, 100% cotton. And I found, like, this is the same red as this one. And look at how bright it is. It came up really, really nice and bright, and it bled out really, really nice. And then, of course, this one here is the same. It's very bright, and it bled out quite nicely, too. So I'm thinking the thickness of the material definitely has something to do with it. Now, with that being said, I do have, this is a really nice lightweight 8 mm, there's a weight number for that, of silk. So this is Habitoy silk, and what I did with this is I just sort of like folded it as though I was going to do, you know, like a tie-dye mandala, so to speak. And then what I did with this one is I marked it, that's a fabric marker, that'll wash out. I just made some marks and then folded along that line. And then what I did is I just took the Sharpie and colored in and went into the folds and everything else, and then, you know, took it apart. So you can see that there's some areas that are darker, so it's not very consistent, right? It's a great idea, but not very consistent. This one here, what I did, no, actually, this one here, that one was with the Sharpies right on it and then spraying it with alcohol. And this one here is done with alcohol inks. So there's inks already pre-mixed with alcohol. And that actually come out like a nice funky mandala too. So that's it there. I mean, this one here was a more deliberate mark making on silk. I thought, well, I'm going to make a deliberate design, and I used my art markers, and it didn't bleed out hardly at all. I don't know, I was really disappointed with this one. I'm not really sure why it didn't, because they're Sharpie markers or permanent markers as well. So yeah, I just was really bummed with that. So that's that. So I'm still undecided. But so for anybody that's kind of looking for material to do anything like this, obviously the jersey is showing a really nice primary, really bright, vibrant. The canvas is a little heavier. It doesn't bleed as well. The black, of course, bleeds quite well. Like, it's so much darker than what my camera picture is showing you right now. It's very deep dark. And I find also, too, that the black marker has a red base to it. So, I think I already said that. But see the red dots on here, even how pinky they almost are, red pink. So, and that's a lightweight cotton, and you know, just a plain cotton, like almost like a sheeting, muslin almost, and then this is a jersey cotton. So I'm liking those two color results better than I am anything else, but for cost, effectiveness, and really smeary look or whatever, I think the satin works too. So, but the canvas would be so much easier, and it's sturdy, and the kids can take it home, and their parents can actually even mount it onto something or frame it or whatever. Okay, anyway, I don't know. I appreciate some feedback. Ciao.